Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys my opinions on the new teasers that we just got today and give you guys my thoughts honestly. I'm really kind of surprised on some of these spells and I'll give you guys my opinions realistically, right? Because I do want to talk about this from a PvE standpoint. Not so much regular PvE because you'll see what I mean, but it's more so about advanced content that I do want to talk about this. So if you do enjoy this type of content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. And yeah, let's get into it. So today we did get another teaser today with more spells that are going to be coming out soon, of course, because test room is around the corner. And this time around it's from Liam. So Liam got his own set of spells, just like how I did, where I got my own set of spells that were kind of like tailored towards the content that I usually post, which is PvE and advanced content like guides and stuff like that, while Liam's a little bit more PvP orientated. So looking at these spells, you'll see that, hey, these are a little bit more PvP stuff, right? And you'll see what I mean. So two spells got changed, which honestly caught a lot of people by surprise, and that is Eye of Vigilance and Writing of the Scales. Now currently Eye of Vigilance and Writing of the Scales is a balance spell, right? We learned this through the balance school, and of course, like if you learn the prerequisites, and you can train these, I believe, at Diego in the arena. So it's currently a balance spell in live realm with a level lock of 40. Right, so if you're in any type of content that's below 40, you're not going to be able to use this spell. That's like advanced content, right? But most advanced content is like 50 and above, right? So you were able to use this in like low level PvP, of course, and there's times where people even use this in like certain raid strats, I believe, and in rematches, I think there were two strats that specifically used Eye of Vigilance and Writing of the Scales. Now for challenge mode, I believe there was only one fight that I saw people even using this, and none of my strats I remember I have actually even used Eye of Vigilance or Writing of the Scales. So to me, this change is not too much affecting me, but I can see it affect PvP players a lot more. And what they did essentially is Writing of the Scales and Eye of Vigilance is no longer a balanced spell. What they decided to do was they changed it to a shadow spell now. So that's quite interesting to see. Now it's not going to have any pip cost. It's not going to be 3 pips anymore. Now it's just going to be 1 shadow pip. And you're not going to be able to use this in lower level matches anymore. It's only for people that are level 100 and above when it comes to PvP. Now, when it comes to advanced content, that means you can't be using Writing of the Scales or Eye of Vigilance in any type of boss rematch that did involve 50 or anything that's kind of like a challenge mode underneath 100. Everything that's 100 and above, like certain boss rematches, of course, like down the line, you'll be able to use these, right? Or even in raids, you'll be able to use them because of that level cap, right? But it's the same spell. The main thing that they changed though, that it is now 100 band, right? It's going to be level 100, and it's no longer a pip cost. Now it's a shad pip cost. So I'm kind of intrigued on what it's going to look like when it comes to the arena, because like I said, I don't do PvP, so I can't say too much from when it comes to a PvP standpoint. But I've seen a lot of people carry a lot of Writing of the Scales. When I did do balanced PvP, like I said, I don't do PvP, but when I did try it out, I think it was 5th age, right? I believe, yeah. So like I have went 15 and 8 before, and I did carry a lot of Writing the Scales. Now I played when the era was a little bit more different, aka when this spell was more busted than it was. So that's when I initially played, right? And I did carry a lot of Writing the Scales, so I can understand how this is going to affect people. And I know some people are saying, oh, doesn't this going to affect the will cast pets that give you Writing the Scales? I'm pretty sure those spells are banned. I could be wrong, but if they aren't banned, obviously that's a separate topic, because you'll draw it to your hand, and you know, is this the pet's still going to have the balance spell? There's a lot of questions regarding that, but I'm pretty sure that spell is banned. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. I'm not too sure about that, right? So these two are interesting, like I said, because of the shad stuff. So we'll have to just wait and see when it comes to more people talking about it. So I did want to kind of give my input around that. But yeah, when it comes to advanced content for like the PvE players, Luckily, a lot of people have strayed away from this spell when it comes to certain raid strats, especially in the Azteca raid. I remember there was like some weird strat in the Azteca raid where everyone was just using writing the skills for literally everything. I think I even had it at one point like on a pet and for guardians, but like no one fights the guardians anymore, so it's kind of useless. But yeah, so really not too much to worry about when it comes to PvE side of things. Same thing with Eye of Vigilance. Nothing on top of my head that's like screaming like, oh, we used Eye of Vigilance for anything. But honestly, it's fine. But we have to see what PvP players are talking about when it comes to these spells. Now, the spells that are going to be introduced, we have 2 new spells that we haven't seen. So this isn't like how yesterday's teaser where I posted a spell revamps when it comes to like certain spells being changed. There's 2 new spells actually coming in, and that is Trap Dilution and Blade Delusion. Now, these I would assume are going to be replacing Writing of the Scales and Eye of Vigilance for balance. You know, where you can like just train it out for your own skill, because obviously you have to learn the previous spells for this. Of course, unless like you're balanced and you just train it by default. But so I think what's going to happen is Trap Delusion and Blade Delusion is just going to completely replace these, and you can just straight up just train these by itself. Who knows if it's... I would assume it's going to be by Diego. I doubt they would just toss them in the Shadow Arcanum professors or scholars. I doubt they would do that. I'm pretty sure it would be by Diego. But yeah, our new spells that are going to be replacing these is Trap Delusion and Blade Delusion. Now, reading the card, I know some people might be a little bit confused and be like, okay, what is happening here? Essentially, this is targeted for PvP players, of course, that are fighting against a person that is like essentially going for one big hit, right? If you're either doing a blade stack strat or a trap stack strat and you're only going for one big hit, you're not going for like separate hits, but basically you're playing PvE in PvP. It's like, you know, you're just going for one big hit. This is essentially to stop that in a certain way. And there's other ways that you can interpret this of how the spell can be used. But what it does is, if we look at the trap one first, is it'll clear up to 4 traps on yourself. And what it does, it replaces them with 20 universal traps. Now, seeing this could be good and bad, right? Because yes, if you are fighting someone that's going for like trap stack or having multiple traps on you, and you kind of want to just have them to have one separate trap only, it will definitely reduce the tempo a little bit and make it so they have separate instances of traps. So for someone that is going for one big hit, it does kind of ruin their strat a little bit. But if you are fighting against someone that has multiple hits and they're going for like, you know, a different strategy, it might be a little bit more different because you just gave them 20% traps on everything. Now, I know a lot of people are going to make the argument, well, if people do, even if they are using Ellie trap or if they're using some sort of other trap, right, that's given to them, it's just changing it to, you know, they're just losing 10% value on that, right? Same thing with like, for example, like a regular trap. I don't think I have any on me or even TCs, but yeah, like if we quickly swap over, we can swap to a different school real quick. I did want to go to a different school to showcase this. So I'm on my myth, for example, and I do have some fire spells learned, and then of course I do have some myth spells because this is my myth. But I do want to showcase some stuff because, like I said, with the new spells introduced, we do have that Trap Delusion. So if someone, for example, is going for that trap strat, we can use, for example, I don't have Mythic Fuel on me, or we can just use Fuel as an example. If someone is a fire, for example, and they're for some reason using Fuel, you can see that there's 30% traps on them for each one. Now, if you use Trap Delusion, you can kind of just like change all these traps. Instead of it being 30, now they're 20%. That's realistically what I wanted to show. So when it comes to advanced content, I don't see anyone using these. There has yet to be something at the moment. Who knows, right? Down the line, we might have to like actually use Trap Delusion, Blade Delusion in certain strats. But there's nothing I can think of that I'm like, hey, we need to use this to de-ramp somebody. Now, I know that one person will make the argument saying the Blade Delusion will be good in challenge mode Montgomery. Now, that you could make that argument, and honestly, you're not wrong. It will make that fight a little bit more bearable, but he still has buffs on him. Obviously, they're all going to be the same buff, so it'll most likely be a little bit more easier. But that fight, I think, after Blade Delusion comes into play, will definitely be a lot more easier, and it won't just be like the same people using Vamp, because literally everyone just kept on spamming weaknesses on that fight. So now that we can, you know, we have something that removes 4 for the cost of 1 pip, definitely I can see that being pretty strategic. So that's interesting for advanced content. But yeah, Trap Delusion, I don't really have like anything else to say beyond that, because there hasn't been a fight where it's like we've gotten trap stacked up the wazoo. That's like we need it, right? But Blade Delusion I can see being somewhat useful just for Montgomery's sake. I can't think of any other fight at the moment that I'm like it's needed, but definitely riding the scales and Eye of Vigilance is going to be quite intriguing to see in further advanced combat modes down the line, because now that's not exclusive to balance. Yeah, you're gonna have to gain a shad pip if you actually really need to use it. But I know some people are gonna make the argument of there's enfeeble, stuff like that. But it really depends on what's happening in that fight to make that argument, right? Like if, for example, that person has blades and I have weaknesses, you know, you could make that argument, right? You could make a slight argument towards that. So we'll have to see. But like I said, there should be more teasers coming out soon now that everyone knows about the, you know, everyone's getting teasers, everyone's getting their own separate cards given out. Be on the lookout for other people. I think the next people should be, I believe, Sauce and Blaze Lifehammer. So definitely look out for that tomorrow, and I will be looking forward to as well. I'll definitely wait for their videos and definitely give you guys my reaction on the spells as well, because I know some people were asking if I was going to do that, and yes, I will most likely be doing the same thing. But definitely check out the original video. I'll put it in the comments down below. Shout out to Liam for covering this as well, because he got his own separate cards, and then definitely more creators will be getting their cards as well to showcase. So kind of interesting, but those are my final thoughts at the moment. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.